And God isn't asking you to be fearless. He's asking you to trust Him more than your fear. You don't have to have it all figured out, my friend. You just have to be willing to say yes. Hi, my friend. Welcome to the Bounce Back Black Woman podcast. I'm Dell, and I've overcome some of the most devastating heartbreaks I could ever have imagined. Do you find yourself stuck in sadness after a broken heart, asking God, why me? Well, I'm here to help women just like you heal and build the resilience to overcome life's greatest hurts. If you long for joy and confidence again, this podcast is for you. So grab your headphones and those heartbreaks. Let's talk. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to Bounce Back Black Woman. Can I just speak life over you for a second? If you've been feeling behind, like it's too late to start over, if you've been hearing that little voice say, you missed your window, sister, or if you've been staring at your life thinking, this is not where I thought I'd be by now, let me tell you something that I've come to believe with my whole heart. Everything happens at the time that it happens for a reason. Not sooner, not later, not when it's convenient, not when it felt fair, but at the exact time that it was meant to happen. And starting over, that's not a failure. That is divine timing in motion. So today we're talking about what it really means to reinvent yourself, especially when you're doing it after deep loss or after unexpected turns or even a lifetime of becoming who everyone else needed you to be. So grab your journal, grab your water bottle, your coffee, or even your favorite glass of wine, and let's talk about why it's not too late for you to begin again. Today we're talking about the grace and the courage that it takes to reinvent your life, especially when you're starting over in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and even beyond. Because let's face it, in your 20s, you're not really starting over, you're just starting. So whether it's leaving a relationship, changing careers, healing your body, or coming home to yourself spiritually, reinvention is holy work. So let's get into it. I've had to start over so many times that I stopped counting. In careers, I worked in education, I worked in corporate culture leadership, investment management, compliance, early childhood education, ministry spaces. And each time I changed careers, I thought, this is it. This is where I'll stay. And each time God said, not quite. There's more. I've started over in relationships. I was divorced after over 20 years of marriage. I was widowed after only 4 months of my second marriage. And I was divorced again after realizing that I had made a reckless mistake. And each one of those changed me. Each one stripped away something, but each one also revealed something new. And after surviving COVID and packing up my life to move cross country, with my 2 dogs in a car seat and the keys to my car, that wasn't just a fresh start. That was a rebirth. And so when I say I understand the fear that comes from starting over, I'm not talking about theory. I'm not talking about book knowledge. I've lived it. And I'm here to tell you every moment that felt like it was falling apart wasn't the end. It was actually the opening. And the hardest part wasn't the actual starting over. Here's what it really was. It was grieving where I thought I'd be at that stage in my life. Grieving the things that I saw as mistakes that I had made, or poor choices that I had made, or tragic things that just happened to me. I was grieving the version of me who thought I'd be married forever. I grieved the version who believed that one day I'd retire from this wonderful job. I grieved the version that I had when I was younger that said, by 40, I'm going to have it all figured out. But what if this version of you, and I mean today's version of you, the one with some miles on her heart, is actually the truest version of you yet? And what if starting over isn't a step backward, but a divine setup for a breakthrough? Let's walk through 3 truths that I've learned about reinventing your life. The first truth is you don't need anyone's permission. No one else needs to understand the shift that God is making within you. You're allowed to stop chasing what you no longer want, even if it's something that you prayed for in another season. And you're allowed to grow. You're allowed to pivot. One of my favorite books that I've reached for over and over again, I'll make sure to link it in the show notes, by the way, is a book called Pivot, and it was written by an author, Jenny Blake. And the main point of that book is that all that matters is your next move. And so, if you're pivoting, you're not flaky. You're not indecisive. You're not uncommitted. You, my friend, are evolving. And believe it or not, evolution was talked about and even celebrated in the Bible. Isaiah 43:19 from the New Living Translation reads this: "For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Do you not see it?" And so let's dive in. What was actually happening when God said that? The Israelites were in a season of exile. They were scattered, broken, and unsure if they'd ever be restored as a people. They were living under Babylonian captivity, disconnected from their homeland, their temple, their traditions, and in many ways their identity. They were grieving their past, and they were deeply unsure about their future. Does that sound familiar? I know it sounds familiar to me. And God, speaking through the prophet Isaiah, reminds them of everything he's done in the past. Things like parting the Red Sea and delivering them from Egypt. But then he flips it and he says, forget all that. It's nothing compared to what I'm going to do. And the verse right before where he said that was Isaiah 43:18. In other words, yes, I've moved before, but don't box me in. I'm not just the God of yesterday's deliverance. I'm the God of new beginnings. Isaiah 43:19 is about unexpected hope in unfamiliar places. And that's where God promises that even in the dry places, he'll provide water. Even in the wilderness, he'll carve a new path. My friend, this isn't about going back to how things used to be. It's about trusting that something new is already in motion, even if you can't see it yet. So let's be real. There is grief in starting over. That's a given. It's okay to mourn the version of your life that you thought that you'd have by this point. It's okay to grieve the identity that you worked so hard to maintain. But don't let that grief anchor you in guilt. Mourn and move, because your future deserves your full presence, and you can grieve and grow at the same time. God honors courage, not comfort. I know we love stability, but sometimes what stability looks like is really stagnation. Sometimes the very thing you're afraid to step into is the thing that will set you free. Now, God isn't asking you to be fearless. He's asking you to trust Him through your fear more than you fear. And God isn't asking you to be fearless. He's asking you to trust Him more than your fear. You don't have to have it all figured out, my friend. You just have to be willing to say yes. Now, I'm going to give you a scripture that always comes to mind when I start feeling like I'm behind. Because we'll always struggle. We're not perfect. And even when we know these things in our mind, our heart takes over sometimes. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Many of you may know it. It says, "For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven." So listen, that wilderness you're walking through right now, it is not a dead end. It's where God births new life. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not disqualified. You are right on time for this season. So why does it hurt so much when we're called to a new season, and maybe a difficult one? Starting over hurts because it makes us feel like everything before it came was wasted. It makes us question our past decisions, our timing, even our worth. And we think, if I have to start over, that must mean that I've messed something up. But my friend, that is a lie. You didn't mess it up. What you did was you made it through. You learned. You adjusted. You outgrew what no longer served you. And now you're ready to begin again. Not from scratch, but this time from wisdom and lived experience. So you know where this is going, right? Yep, so you can go ahead and grab that journal and sit for a moment with these thoughts. The first one, what am I being invited to release so that I can step into something new? And the second, if I believed it wasn't too late, if I really believed that, what would I give myself permission to pursue? Now that's a powerful one, my friend, because it takes off the filter of safety and security. I want you to write it like it's already yours. Now, before we close, I want to tell you something that I wish someone had told me sooner. You don't have to figure this out alone. I did a lot of my growing and healing and rebirthing alone. I didn't have the kind of community to walk alongside me. So if you've been looking for a space to heal, to be real, and connect with other women on the same journey, it might look a little different, but it's the same journey, friend. I want to invite you to help shape that space with me. The Bounce Back Black Woman community is still growing. We've got many friends in there, but it's yet to take off. It's growing slowly, honestly, and intentionally, because we're not chasing hype. We're not chasing popularity or numbers. What we're doing is we're creating something real. And if you're already in the community, I want to invite you to lean in further, friend. Share, respond, encourage someone, be seen. Trust me, you won't regret it. This space is what we make it. And I believe that we're building something beautiful. One voice, one story, one thread, one bounce back at a time. So, head to the bouncebackblackwoman.com website and click join the community, because we're ready for you, my friend. Come and sit with us. Come and be poured into. Come and be reminded that it's not just you. It's not just me. It's us. Well, that's it for today, my friend. I really hope this episode inspired, encouraged, or just plain comforted you. If so, please share it with a friend who might be struggling in her own healing journey. And if you take a moment to leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, you'll help other women find encouragement through their heartbreak. Remember that God is holding your hand along this journey. And guess what? I'm holding the other. Life is short, so bounce back, Black